Hey, I'm Sheena Shuey. I'm a registered social worker and host of the 4Q podcast. I'm passionate about normalising, not pathologising life, and that's not easy. So each episode, I have amazing guests on to share the messy, beautiful ups and downs of life in 4 key questions with tips and tricks along the way. There are moments in life where you can embrace your story and understand that it's okay not to feel okay sometimes. So let's get into it. This is the 4Q podcast. If you're feeling anxious, stressed, lost, exhausted right now, then this episode is for you. Hey, I'm Sheena, and it's been a little while since we connected. I know a lot of you follow me on social media, and for those who don't, go check me out, but I'm having a little break, and I'm just taking some time to tune in and realign, as many of you know. But this episode is something I've been talking about with a lot of therapist colleagues around addressing exactly what I said: anxious, stressed, exhaustion, and just that general feeling of flat. So if you're considering doing something about that because that's how you've been feeling this week, this month, this year, then let's reflect on that. I want to reflect on this topic and let's redefine this. Here's what I want you to know about this sort of interesting topic. So one of the things that often happens when people come to coaching or counseling, therapy, is they come with this idea of what the problem is and what they want to fix. So they come in and they say, my job is just so stressful. I'm feeling really stressed. I keep working overtime, or, I just finding my relationships not working for me, this and that. And so they think that the presenting thing, the real issue, is their workplace or their relationship. But what we end up finding through the coaching, counseling, or therapeutic relationship is that it really does come down to a deeper core issue. It ends up coming to things like, why do you do so much for others and nothing for yourself? Why do you have trouble connecting with people? Why do you have trouble saying no? What are the unhealed parts of you that keep showing up in your workplace, in your relationships, in your parenting? So it's funny because sometimes people will come and say, I'm just really anxious. And then when you get down to it, you end up finding that maybe they have an anxious attachment and that there's parts of them that really need to be healed. And I guess it's sort of like going to a personal trainer for your fitness. The reality is that fitness and general health takes diet, takes exercise, takes a lot of lifestyle changes. Now, of course, you could do things in the interim to get short-term results. You could go on a fad diet, which will make you feel good in the short term, and we'll address, I want to lose weight. Okay, cool. Fad diet gets you the results short term. In the long term, it actually might make you worse, and you actually might gain all that weight back plus more. If you looked at the root causes of your, initial health issues, and you looked at a holistic approach to addressing it, that might be a little bit slower than you anticipated, but really makes it that weight loss is a lifelong thing for you and you don't have to worry about it, that's the approach that you want to take. So that's the thing. When you come to coaching, counseling, or therapy, just know that you will always have the power to direct that, but you can choose something that's just going to get you short-term results, like get you through this period of exhaustion or anxiety, that'll help you get through. But that it'll keep coming up and it'll keep showing up for you if you don't do the deeper work. And you have to be open to that. I think sometimes it's a bit of a shock to people when they go, I didn't think I was going to talk about these things, or I didn't think I was going to talk about this really painful thing that happened to me 10 or 15 years ago. Like, I'm over it. If you're really over it, it will stop showing up for you. So why does it keep showing up for you? So what I would say is, if you're feeling anxious, exhausted, flat, first tune into yourself and really ask yourself what you need. But I would say, if you're coming to a coach or a therapist or a counselor, be ready to just go in the direction that's going to really get the best results for you, which might be unexpected, but it'll always be at your pace and it will always be in your rhythm. You know, a good person for you, a good coach, a therapist, counselor, will always sort of go at a pace that works for you. Some people go guns a-blazing and they're like, yep, I'm ready to go. Some people, it is scary and it is painful, and there might be a level of denial about things. And it's confronting. It's confronting knowing our own part of our workplaces, you know. For a lot of us, a lot of our workplaces are toxic. However, we let ourselves be sort of manipulated by people, and that's confronting to realize, like, hey, I do too much for people, or I don't stand up for myself. And why? You know, what happened in my childhood that I couldn't stand up for myself? Or is this a pattern for me? And that can be kind of confronting to learn about your own patterns. So in terms of reflecting and redefining, the first two questions of the 4R and 4Q podcast is around just rethink of it like that. So let's get to the redesign. What can you do to, if you're feeling this way, to start on the road? Again, I would say it's taking that time. So in the redesign is taking that time to sit and reflect. Really ask yourself, when you're feeling anxious, what's the first thing that pops into your head that is causing that anxiety? And then again, ask yourself, why does it make you anxious? So for example, if for you, the first thing that pops into your head is maybe all the obligations you've got between work and daycare and your relationships, or maybe it's just in between balancing your relationship and work and friendships and pursuing career goals and wanting to pay the bills. It's a lot, and a lot of people present with that like they've just got so much on their plate, and that's their cause of first the anxiety and then the exhaustion after feeling anxious for so long. And it's asking yourself, is your life working for you? Yes or no? Like, take the time to reflect, take the time to feel these emotions, because these emotions and these feelings are telling you something. When you're feeling this way, there's nothing wrong with you. It's your brain and your body saying, hey, stop, slow down, listen to me. Things aren't working if we keep going this way, and I need you to pay attention. So pay attention, give yourself that time. Ask yourself, what is the first thing that pops into my head when I think about how I'm feeling and what's causing this? And if it's don't fight it. If you think it's your relationship, accept that it's your relationship. If it's the too much on your plate, acknowledge that, and then sort of start to think about, what about my relationship, or what about the things too much on my plate is stressing me out? Is it other people's expectations? Is it the fact that I just feel run off my feet and I physically can't do anything? Am I a perfectionist and I just expect so much from myself that my own expectations of things are getting in the way of me enjoying life or me enjoying things? Have I been hurt in the past and it's showing up now in my relationship again? Do I have trust issues? What is it? And if you don't have those answers, if you sort of have an idea but you're unclear, there's two things going on here. Is one, maybe you're not connected very well to your intuition and your gut. Two, when we are anxious, it can be hard to connect. Often that's a sign that your mind, body, and spirit are disconnected. And so I really would encourage you, if you're in that space, find someone to help you connect those things together again. Find ways, whether it's reaching out to a coach, reaching out to a therapist, reading books on the topic, reading books on anxiety or trauma or, something that makes you feel good. Maybe it's going away and spending some time on your own. Maybe it's, doing some yoga that's really like, there's, what we call trauma-informed yoga nowadays. There's trauma-informed yoga. There's things like massage that can really connect your body and mind together. If you meditate while massage, that can be hugely powerful for shifting things. Maybe try some meditations, some future self or inner child meditations are beautiful for reconnecting to your true self and really understanding what the hell is my mind and my brain and my spirit trying to tell me in this moment. So take that time. But again, I know that I say this almost every week, but the fastest, shortest way to do this is seeing a therapist. Is it going to be easy? No. Are there going to be times where you leave the office crying, or maybe, you have an epiphany on the way home? Like, of course, but these are the life-changing moments. These are the moments that you'll never be the same again in the most positive way you can imagine, because when you start to heal yourself, you start to heal everything around you, the people around you, the workplaces around you. If you go to therapy and you realize that, hey, my workplace isn't treating me correctly, you go back and you stand up for yourself, that encourages other people to do the same. Or it encourages your workplace to say, hey, this is a pattern we've seen in people and we need to change this, So healing yourself starts to heal the world in the most positive way. And if you don't, there is that old saying of hurt people hurt people. When we're feeling anxious and exhausted, we tend to not be our best selves in our relationships. We tend to snap at the kids or snap at our partner or pull away from people who are just trying to help, because we just don't feel like it. We just aren't in a good space and we're not being the best version of ourselves. And that's totally okay too. We can't be our best selves 24/7, 365 days of the year. So when we aren't our best selves, it's about listening to the mind, body, spirit cues and asking, what the hell is going on? What do I need to work on? And again, an easy, simple way to do this is just using our reflection tools on our website, or for those of you who have worked with me, those reflection tools, we have the foundation check. So if you haven't got it already, check out our free resource library at savasanacollective.com. And in there, we've got a weekly foundation check called the Holistic Foundation Check. And then we've got a foundation check that you do once a month. And these are good tools to sort of figure out what areas are going well, what areas aren't, what areas am I neglecting, and what do I need to refocus on again? How do I get balance again? But the biggest thing with all of this is you cannot do any of this tuning in work, reflective work, if you do not give yourself the time and space and set a boundary. The biggest thing I see with people is they have the best intentions. I was going to take a day off, but then my partner needed me, and then this and that and this and that. Or I was going to do this, but then I had to clean the dishes, or there was housework to be done. It's like, if you don't schedule in time for yourself and put boundaries around it, meaning I will not book in anything else other than this time, it'll always be crossed off the list because there's always a million things to do. Every single person I talk to has so many things on their to-do list. So it's very easy to say, I'm not going to do that tool because I really need to clean the kitchen, or I really need to put the laundry away, or I really need to do this, do that. You need to be vigilant with yourself. Otherwise, these things won't happen. And if you want to be the best version of yourself, that future self that you envision, what kind of practices does that person do? When you look up to people that you admire, are they the kinds of people who don't reflect? Probably not. Are they the kinds of people who make time to read books or to listen to podcasts like this one? Like, yes, they invest in themselves. So if you want to be that person, when are you investing in yourself? When are you taking time for yourself? If you're not, how are you ever going to be that person? So it's making sure that you do that for you. So the final R, the realign, how can I stay in this place? How can I keep things going? Well, again, you need to know what's going on first. So as a recap, you need to reach out into your inner self and really go, what is this feeling telling me? This anxiety, exhaustion, stress, just this general feeling of lost. Take the time. If you can't figure it out on your own, reach out to a coach, a counselor, a therapist. You know where we're at, but of course, if you can't get a hold of us, if we're booked out, you can always reach out to someone and find that so that this stops showing up, and ask yourself, do I want the fad diet that'll help me in the short term, but not in the long term when it comes to my personal growth? That is like tuning into what's going on for you. I could have a short-term solution for your anxiety that won't help long term. Or you could say, look, am I ready to finally take that step towards investing in myself so that I truly can become the best version of myself, and this shit that keeps happening stops coming up. It stops showing up in my life because I'm actually getting to the root causes now, and I'm working on it. And I've got a coach or a therapist who's right there with me, right there by my side, helping me connect that mind, body, spirit aspect. And I think that is so important. So that is my wish for you. If you're feeling like this, I've been feeling a bit flat myself lately, I just tune in and take the time and do whatever you need to slow things down so you can give yourself space. I know you can do this, and I know that it might seem scary, or the unknown is a bit like, what do I anticipate? And how do I find the right therapist? I've got a whole bunch of tools about that, but have any questions, just email us at Savasana Collective or connect with us on Instagram and we can answer you. But I 100% believe in you. Remember that these so-called negative feelings that you're feeling are just alarms. They're your internal mind, body, spirit alarms saying things aren't okay. Look at this and find out what's really going on here. Listen to yourself. You have all the answers you need inside of you. You just have to find a way to pull them out. You just have to get those tools, get those people that can pull out the answers from you. It's all in there, I promise. All right. Thank you for giving me your precious time and precious energy today. I just so appreciate it, because I know, life is busy. As I said, the to-do lists are non-stop. So thank you for taking this time to spend with me, and thank you for taking this time to invest in you. You did it. You already started by listening to this podcast, so keep that momentum going, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.